Today, Elon Musk bought Twitter.
$44 billion to end this whirlwind romance. They essentially catfished him, right? Oh, surprise, it's 75% bots and it's fucking toxic.
It's just the divorced dad bad decision timeline where he's just going down the vortex of escalating. And he's clearly not mentally well. I was reading a story.
All right, and welcome in to a new show, episode 1, and we're calling this show Content Brained because that's what we have. We have content brain because we are terminally online. And if you are watching this show, you probably are too. There's so much content, and we're going to be your guides through this content. So I'm Stevium. With me today is my co-host, Chase.
Hey, everybody. Today, the news just dropped that Elon Musk bought Twitter.
He did.
Finalized the deal.
$44 billion finalized to end this whirlwind romance.
To be honest, I never thought it was going to happen. I thought it was really just like, he's a huge troll, which I guess makes sense that he bought Twitter, which is like basically the troll.
The ultimate troll.
Yeah. So it's on brand, but I thought it was really just him being a troll, trying to stay in the media, trying to stay in, conversation, have everybody talking about him.
It did seem a little bit like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the guy, he's known for promising something and then not really following through. So that's kind of the reputation that he has earned over the last decade, I'd say.
Yeah, he's been promising those Hyperloops in LA for a long time now. Are there any Hyperloops out there, Chase?
Near LAX, there's a boring company or like Tesla, like where they built, I've driven outside of that complex, but I've never gotten an opportunity to go in it. But we were promised, being able to go up to San Francisco really quick or go to Las Vegas and nothing. So, yeah.
But he came through. So this is a romance that's been going on for a while now. Elon Musk originally offered to buy Twitter for $44 billion, and Twitter said yes, which I think was a surprise to everyone. He sort of forced his way in. I don't think Twitter actually wanted to be sold. And then as soon as he bought it, he didn't want it anymore.
What's interesting is, like what you said, like Twitter didn't want to be bought, and then when he backed out, they were like, nah, motherfucker, we're suing you. You're buying us. And I didn't realize that a court could force somebody to buy something. So the fact that he was forced to make a $44 billion purchase, which is like, what, a quarter of his net worth, is insane to me. There must have been some calculus going on where the board was like, this is our exit. This is our golden parachute to get off this heaping dump. And maybe they played a little bit of reverse psychology, no, don't get
us.
Mr. Elon, we don't want to sell
us.
We don't want
got you, motherfucker. They essentially catfished him, right? Oh, surprise, it's 75% bots and it's fucking toxic.
Yeah, it's just cancer. I mean, I go on Twitter and every time I go on it, the lump of cancer grows a little bit more inside my body.
It is the ultimate divorced dad thing. Most people, they go out, they buy a nice red Corvette, they spend a quarter of their fucking money on it, and the biggest troll of them all, he goes and buys the absolute trolliest platform, Twitter.
It's very on brand for Elon.
Truly
it's hilarious
amazing
to me. It's just bad. It's just the divorced dad bad decision timeline where he's just going down the vortex of escalating, and he's clearly not mentally well. I was reading a story maybe a few days ago where it was like Grimes has convinced Elon that she's a hallucination or an artificial intelligence that's been implanted in his brain. Did you see that story?
I did not, but I can only imagine.
And so he I think she started trolling him and then he started believing it. And so clearly he's mentally in this place that I don't know if he's thinking clearly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Is this a wise business decision,
It's amazing. The man is in charge of SpaceX and Tesla and now Twitter, and his ex-girlfriend has convinced him that she's maybe a hallucination.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
The future is incredible. The future is now. We're living it. It's terrifying. But it's also, you can't look away.
Yeah. Something happened around 2016, 2020, the timeline switched. We got set on one of them we weren't supposed to be on, and the train just, it keeps going. Everyone's bingo cards are completely out the window.
Basically, on the timeline of life, we were in the 90s, and there was the directions on the dashboard in paper format, and we're driving down the freeway, and that was the directions for the future that we're supposed to have. Mm-hmm. Somebody rolled down the window, and the paper just blew right out, and now we're in upside down world.
Someone took that paper map, they rolled it up, they ate it, and then they slapped us across the face. And the car crashed, and this has all been one fever nightmare while the world lays in some coma and all of its synapses fire as it's dying. So Twitter sues Musk. He buys Twitter, and you said that the CEO is fired and the CFO is already gone.
Yeah, I read on CNN that the CEO and 2 executives were fired. And I have not read this, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I assume he made himself the CEO, but we can cut that. Because fake news, you know, probably shouldn't traffic in it. So why is Elon buying Twitter anyways? Just because he's a troll and wants to own the trolls? Like, well, literally?
Chase, I'm so glad you asked. Elon is buying Twitter to help humanity. He is hoping to save it. And I kind of believe that. Either Elon is the best friend that the world has, or he's just a giant troll. He could be truly believing that the future of the Earth and the people on Earth is Mars, and that he wants to help with Twitter, or maybe he just likes launching rocket ships and being a fucking troll. And I can't tell which one.
I think that you're right, that he probably is genuine to a degree.
Yeah.
With which it's just, he's a very good actor in terms of all the media he does talking about this stuff. It makes it kind of believe to his core that he does believe this stuff. But he also is a troll, and he also has billions and billions of dollars with which to do whatever he wants. And I think if he really wanted to help humanity, the one thing that he would do is close Twitter and shut it down and cut that cancer out of society forever, because humanity really needs it.
So yeah, Elon claims that if we don't do something, the divide between right and left will continue to grow. I have no idea how him buying Twitter is going to change this. I personally believe that the way that social media and the algorithms work is to feed people more and more extreme content and to push them into groups, into identifying with certain things, and that gives YouTube and Twitter and all of these platforms the most engagement. That gets people to stay on them. And that almost goes completely against somehow healing a divide between right and left or any other factions on the internet.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the algorithm is shown to be biased and has been shown to segregate people into groups, so to speak, by reinforcing their beliefs, or by engaging in something, then they get shown more of it. And when you say the algorithm, it's interesting because these algorithms, there's multiple algorithms, but yet they're all doing the same thing. They're all resulting in the same polarization. And so that makes me think there's something fundamentally flawed at the core of the algorithm model, as is currently implemented by the FANG group, basically the Facebook, Apple. I guess Apple doesn't really. I guess at like the root of it, it kind of does make sense, because you engage with something, the company goes, okay, you liked that. We're in the business of showing you stuff we think you'd like.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And so I wonder if there's any way that those two fundamentals can be split in order to create an algorithm that doesn't lead to fundamentalism, extremities, polarization, and basically the fabric of society splitting as we know it.
I'm sure you could create an algorithm to do that. I think the thing is that when we say algorithm, really what we're saying is like people's behavior. The algorithm is just designed to work for people's viewing behavior. It just learns really well what they want to see, or rather what they want to engage in, whether they like it or dislike it, hate it, whatever they will engage in. The algorithm is just for the most part based off of what people want to see. And so it seems like there's almost something innate within how we function as a society that these social media platforms just sort of play off of. And it's not like there's some evil agenda that they're pushing us left and right. It's just that they have found a way to sort of dig into some part of humans that, when blown up to this massive scale with technology, leads to some kind of shitty results.
It's really interesting to be a part of this since, the origins of social media and the algorithm once Facebook switched over from the timeline to the feed, how that has like changed society as a whole. And it's kind of, like you said, it's uncovering parts of humanity that maybe aren't so great.
Yeah. It used to be just MySpace. We all had Tom as a friend. And I mean, it was a way to literally just enhance your communication with people. That's what it was. There weren't ads. I don't think so. There weren't like random things from people that weren't your friends on the timeline. Facebook started out as a way to like find out where your friends were having a party. And now it's sort of this different turn because now it's monetized with advertisements.
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
It's money. And you can even see it like as Facebook grew, I'm sure they kept taking more and more VC funds. And as they take those funds, there's the pressure to keep squeezing out more and more and more. And you see Facebook and Instagram and all of these products now becoming, you get one piece of content, you get 2 ads. You get 2 pieces of content, you get an ad. You just ads. The change in that, the content plus the advertising has just made it like, why am I even using this? It doesn't add value to my life like it used to, right?
I always get on social media and I want to use it in a way that enhances my connection with other people. And I can never seem to get that without getting all of the bad stuff, without scrolling for hours at a time and wasting time, or being on Twitter and looking at all of this toxic shit that I log off and I just feel, well, I don't literally log off. No one logs off anymore.
What an old term. That's interesting. But no, this has been a really interesting conversation overall about how social media in general has kind of affected society, and like why this guy who's kind of shown himself maybe not to be like the best dude, he's like definitely toxic for society, Elon Musk, I feel like, to a degree, because of his antics, essentially. But speaking of capitalism and money and nonsense, like Elon Musk buying Twitter, more nonsense. Dogecoin, I noticed, has been crazy, up 35%. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then today the news dropped and it's like, oh. So it's just trolls on trolls on trolls. Like everything is
We're so many troll levels deep. Like, how would you explain to someone from the future or the past that this coin based on a Shiba Inu's face is linked to a billionaire who owns a rocket and a car company buying a social media company?
And when you say coin, it's not even a physical, tangible.
It's not a coin, no. It's in the ether.
It's in the series of tubes that is the internet. I love the memes where it's like, try explaining to a 1700s peasant the concept of Dogecoin. Like,
it's funny. I think I once like looked back at some of the original stock market crashes, and there's stuff from like the 16 or 1700s. Like, did you ever hear of the Dutch tulip craze? Essentially, it's one of the first crashes. People are buying tulips. The price skyrockets. People start selling not just tulips, but sort of a promise for a tulip, which is essentially a security. And then, I don't know, they can't get enough tulips, and people have bought all of these tickets for tulips that are now worthless, and it crashes. And we're still doing the same thing 400 years later, just with coins on the internet.
I do not understand economics, and I try to, and I guess kind of that's what this show is that we're trying to put together, is we're trying to make sense of the world. We're trying to make sense of the world online and this like digital space that we have found ourselves in the future, which is now.
And, maybe do a little trolling along with Elon Musk.
We do.
Along the way.
Well, that's what we do best when we get down to it.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. This has been Content Brained. I'm Stevium. This is Chase. And we're going to see you next episode. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.